Do you see yourself as that person who says yes to everything, even when your schedule is packed, or when deep down, you just don't want to do it? Do you feel a lump in your throat, just thinking about disagreeing with someone? Do you go out of your way to make sure everyone likes you, avoiding any kind of conflict, only to end up feeling drained, maybe even a little resentful? This pattern of excessive people-pleasing goes far beyond just being nice or kind. It's a survival strategy, one that may have protected you once, but today, it might be costing you your peace, your energy, and even your sense of self. In today's talk, we're going to explore where this compulsive need to please really comes from. What are the psychological roots behind people-pleasing? And more importantly, how can we begin to take off that armor and learn to put our own needs on the map without guilt? If you're ready to find a healthier balance, stay with me. No one is born a people pleaser. This is a learned behavior, usually picked up in childhood or adolescence, as a way to navigate environments where we didn't feel safe being ourselves. Some of the most common roots include fear of rejection or abandonment. If we learned that love or acceptance depended on being good or not making waves, then the fear of being rejected became a powerful force behind the urge to please. Fear of conflict. In families where conflict was frightening, explosive, or never really resolved, we may have learned, early on, that pleasing others was the only way to keep the peace, even if that peace was just on the surface. Imagine Julia. In her house, every argument turned into yelling, or icy silence. So as a child, she learned that the best way to keep things calm was to smile, agree, and never say what she really thought. Today, as an adult, she feels a tightness in her chest, just imagining herself saying, "I disagree," in a meeting. Other common roots include internalized responsibility, children who had to take on adult roles too soon, or manage the emotions of their parents, often grow up feeling like they're responsible for everyone else's happiness. Low self-esteem and deep-seated beliefs. Core beliefs like, "I'm not good enough. My needs don't matter. I'm only valuable when I help others." These beliefs, known as defectiveness, subjugation, self-sacrifice, or approval-seeking, directly feed the people-pleasing cycle. Lack of assertive role models. If we never saw examples of how to express needs or how to disagree respectfully, we might simply not know how to do things differently. Here's the key point. People-pleasing isn't about genuine kindness. It's about fear. Fear of what might happen. If we stop pleasing, it's an attempt to control how others see us, just so we can feel safe. These unconscious roots might be silently shaping every yes you give, even the ones you said today. But what if you've been self-sabotaging without even realizing it? In the next section, we'll uncover the hidden signs of people-pleasing in your everyday life, some so subtle you might think they're just part of your personality. Beyond the obvious struggle to say no, people-pleasing often shows up in much subtler ways you might not even realize. Outwardly, agreeing. Inwardly, disagreeing. Do you nod and smile while silently thinking, "I don't agree with this at all"? Over-apologizing. Do you say sorry for things that aren't your fault, or just for existing and having needs? Avoiding asking for help. Do you believe you have to handle everything on your own, and that asking for help makes you weak or a burden. Feeling responsible for other people's emotions. Do you assume that if someone is upset, disappointed, or angry, it must be your fault? Your job to fix it? Built-up resentment. Is there a quiet frustration or anger bubbling under the surface because you're always giving in, but don't know how to express it? Difficulty making decisions, big or small. Do you constantly check with others or stress about choosing the right option? Now, picture this. You're in the middle of a chaotic work week, spreadsheets, meetings, tight deadlines. Someone mentions that the end of quarter event needs a volunteer to organize it, and before you even think, your hand is already up, and deep down, a voice whispers, "If I say no, they'll think I'm selfish. Everyone's tired. I can't be the only one to say no. If I don't help, no one will want to work with me again." You say yes, with a smile. But inside, you're already counting what you'll have to give up. Sleep, a free weekend, maybe even your sanity. And when the day of the event finally comes, no one notices your effort. Not like you imagined. You're exhausted, frustrated, and asking yourself, why? Do I keep doing this to myself? So, which of these signs hits closest to home for you? Recognizing the pattern is the first step to changing it. And yes, seeing these signs can be uncomfortable. But the real question is, how do you break out of this invisible prison of automatic yeses and start building a more authentic way of connecting with others? If you've made it this far, you already understand that people-pleasing isn't just a habit. It's a deep-rooted pattern, shaped by fear, old beliefs, and past experiences. And maybe, for the first time, you're seeing those patterns in your own life. And that alone is a huge step forward. Now comes the most powerful part, how to break the cycle. In the next section, we'll dive into real, practical steps, small actions you can start taking today to reclaim your voice, your energy, and your authenticity. Stopping the people-pleasing cycle doesn't mean becoming selfish. It means learning how to balance your needs with others in a way that's respectful and authentic. Here are some key steps to help you get there. Connect with the cost before. You can change. You need to understand what people-pleasing is costing you. Take a moment to write it down. How does it affect your energy, your time, your relationships, your self-esteem, your health? When you see the cost clearly, your motivation to change grows. Pause. Before you answer, that automatic yes is just a reflex. Start building the habit of pausing before you respond. This can stop that classic moment where your mouth says yes before your brain finishes the sentence. I really don't have time for this. In today's world, saying something like, "Let me think about it," or "I'll check my schedule and get back to you," is practically a superpower. It gives you space to reflect. Do I really want to do this? Can I? Anna decided to test it out. Instead of instantly saying sure when a friend asked for a favor, she replied, "Can you give me a minute to think about it?" Just that one small shift felt freeing. For the first time, she felt like she had a choice. And guess what? In the end, she said yes, but it came from desire, not fear. Start saying no, kindly and clearly. Begin with low-stakes situations. You don't need to explain yourself with a long story. A simple, "Thanks for thinking of me, but I can't this time," or "I'd love to help, but I'm not available right now," is more than enough. Yes, it'll feel uncomfortable at first, but that discomfort is part of the process. Identify your needs and values. If you don't know what you want or what really matters to you, it's easy to be swept up in other people's needs. Ask yourself, what do I need right now? What's truly important to me in this situation? Revisit your core values, like we discussed earlier. Practice self-compassion. This one's essential. Breaking this pattern is hard, and you will slip up. You might say yes when you didn't want to, or feel guilty after setting a boundary. That's normal. When it happens, don't beat yourself up. Be kind to yourself. Remember why this behavior started and acknowledge how much effort you're making to change. Understand the difference between being kind versus being a pleaser. True kindness comes from strength and conscious choice. People-pleasing comes from fear and a need for approval. Being kind is helping someone because you genuinely want to. People-pleasing is helping them move houses, canceling your weekend, twisting your ankle on the way, and still smiling like you're in a bank commercial. You can be kind and have boundaries. You're allowed to say no. You're allowed to matter too. We've now explored the roots and the signs of people-pleasing, and you've got practical tools to begin shifting that pattern. Remember, every small, honest no is a win. Keep going, because this journey leads somewhere beautiful. In the beginning, saying no might feel like an earthquake. You may feel guilt, doubt, even fear of being rejected. But what happens if you keep going? What starts to shift when you begin setting boundaries and only say yes when you truly mean it? How do your relationships change? Your energy? Your self-worth? In the next chapter, we'll explore exactly what begins to transform when you stop living to please and start living in alignment with who you truly are. When you start setting healthy boundaries and honoring your own needs, life shifts in powerful ways. More genuine relationships, your connections become real, built on mutual respect instead of the performance of pleasing. You start attracting people who value you for who you are, not just what you do for them. Less anxiety and resentment. That constant tension of trying to keep everyone happy begins to fade. The resentment from feeling taken for granted. It eases too. More energy and focus. You reclaim time and energy to invest in your own goals, passions, and self-care. Saying no to what drains you means saying yes to what fuels you. Stronger self-confidence and self-worth. Every time you act in alignment with your own needs and values, you reinforce your inner sense of worth. Respect from others and yourself. Ironically, people with clear boundaries tend to earn more respect. But most importantly, your self-respect grows, and that's where everything starts to change. True kindness doesn't come from fear. It blossoms when you respect yourself enough to be honest about your limits. When you say no to what drains you, you're saying yes to a lighter, more honest life, one that feels deeply your own. So, what's one small boundary you could set this week? Drop it in the comments. Speaking it out loud helps make it real. If this video resonated with you or brought some clarity, hit that like button and share it with someone who always says yes when they really want to say no. And if you're ready to keep going on this journey of self-discovery, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because in the next video, we're diving into Jungian archetypes and your career, how your inner psyche may be shaping or sabotaging your professional success. It's going to be deep, practical, and eye-opening. You won't want to miss it.